Good afternoon. Currently, we're experiencing a shift in ideology. Now, I want you to do your best to make it through to this whole video because it will be a lot of information and a lot of trying to build understanding and correlation of where we are in understanding ideology. So, of course, I have to start off with the definition. Ideology refers to a system of ideas, beliefs, or principles that from the basis of political, economic, or social theories and policies. So, one of the areas where we are is the founding fathers left Europe for a couple of motivations: economic opportunities, religious freedom, political and social freedom, adventure and exploration, colonial competition, escape from persecution or hardship, forced migration. I say this to simply say, when the founding fathers left, they wanted the idea of democracy, the inclusion of we want to be included. We don't want to be ran by a single entity because it's not working for us. I don't want to do what they only want to do. I want to be able to think for myself. I'm not harming anybody, but I do want to be able to think for myself, make decisions for myself. Now, you have to understand something was happening simultaneously. During this time, when the founding fathers came, there were indigenous people here simultaneously. While they wanted democracy and peace and freedoms, they were committing atrocious acts. These things happened simultaneously. So you had something that was supposed to be good that was mixed in with bad. That's how history has been going. But the idea was to create a democracy, to break away from the monarchy, the aristocrats that made up the European nation. They did not like it. Here we are today in America 2025. But you got to understand, the ideology is the argument right now. Has the ideology of democracy changed? Is it not that we want democracy and for everyone? Because you got to consider, I just told y'all, in April 4th, 1949, NATO was created. It was created to push the ideology of democracy. We did it through aid. We did it through different types of U.S. aid programs. We were pushing the ideas that all Americans understood. And here was something that was interesting prior to the internet. They would put out this information in the paper saying that democracy is good. Guess what was happening simultaneously throughout these years of saying that we don't want to be oppressed. We don't want to feel oppressed. In 2025, I'm able to talk to you not being oppressed as a black male, as an African American male, as somebody who's black that was born in America. Because we had a period of slavery where democracy, even though the ideals were there, they did not, there were individuals who did not want that for me, while simultaneously having individuals who said, hey, we want everyone to have democracy. I always tell y'all it took till 1920, for white women to have a vote in the United States of America. 1920. This is simultaneously happening with the ideal of including individuals in democracy because, like I stated, we wanted political and social freedom. These were the ideals that were being pushed along. So I'm going to keep coming back to it. What are the ideals of Americans today? That is our division point. Who are you looking to set the standard for your ideas? Do we still believe that democracy at its core is healthy? The inclusion of citizens speaking up about the things that affect them are healthy? Or are we more shifting towards no, only The rich and powerful should be able to decide what is best. Now, you have to understand all of these things, the good and the bad, are happening simultaneously. We had to fight. We did not really utilize the females in this country. And I have to really put this on here, the white females in this country, until World War II, when we sent all of the males to go fight the war. We needed women, inclusion, and diversity. We needed it. These were the ideals that were necessary, that democracy brings. So it was a very good idea for democracy. Democracy says that the many get a choice. It's very important to understand why I push for legislative authority, because I believe it's the next level in political evolution of democracy. It's giving citizens a full scope of what is going on. Our biggest issue right now is our ideologies are split. Capitalism and socialism have split our ideologies, and we're trying to figure out where we stand. In those days, the president would come out and tell the citizens, we're fighting for freedom and democracy. And what we're hearing today is we need to get paid our fair share. We're putting out too much money. 1991, the end of the Cold War, Ukraine leaves the Republic of Russia. Those 50, Ukraine left, showing that independence and building on democracy. People wanted the independence to be able to decide their fates. So democracy does have healthy roots in being able to live peacefully. It's just we're gonna take our crookeds with our straights. We're gonna take our goods with our bads. And it's very important to understand that there are always gonna be a ton of multifaceted influences and things that are going to simultaneously happen, because this earth is huge and people have the trait of good and bad. You can be influenced, but right now you have to ask yourself, am I a healthy representative of democracy? Or do I have a different ideology? We know we are a society of individuals where we do have people that feel more comfortable when they can look down on other people. We know this. We don't have to guess about this. We also know that we live in a country where we have legal proof that in order to get paid, we have had companies knowingly hurt citizens and pay off the government agencies to look the other way. We don't have to guess about this. It's in our history. It's in our documentaries. It's in our movies. It has happened. We have an ideology problem in certain areas, but we have to be able to understand the root cause issue and how we're going to best fix it. My solution is legislative authority for citizens, a period of direct democracy. If that period of direct democracy lasts the next 1,000 years, then that's how long we needed it before we go back to giving representative democracy, giving that power back to a few people. It did not prove, and it has not proven to be the most healthiest. It has worked, but we had bad people infiltrated from, let's be honest, both sides. The Republican and Democratic parties have both done things that have not been beneficial to citizens. Let's just be honest. Yes, we know that there are citizens who cannot afford health care. So Medicare and Medicaid were very beneficial. We also know that in 1982, when they established the Interdepartmental Fund to take money from Social Security, there was never a plan to put the money back. We know this. So you have to understand that when we come up with solutions about taking money from Social Security, have you come up with a solution for how to put all the money that you've taken back yet? But that's not a conversation that we hear. Yet we're still paying into Social Security. You can't just say, "Hey, I don't want to pay into this anymore. I want to get my money back," because y'all are playing with this money that was supposed to be promised to me. Because a lot of people say this like it was promised to me. I didn't sit up and look up, "Hey, how come I can't get the Social Security that was promised to me?" Well, you got to get to a certain age before you can touch that. Well, just give me the penalty and let me just get mine out, and don't let me put any more in there. You have individuals who think that, "Hey, I'll just do that." But we need plans, but we need to establish at minimum the same ideology that democracy needs to evolve even further. We need to decide if we all want to get behind citizens having legislative authority. I would like for you to get behind that and give me that petition that's on my webpage, that's always on the top of my head. Take that petition to your supervisor of elections office and turn it in and send the message at the bottom. It's important because it shows that citizens want this. One other thing that we want to do is we want to understand that, hey, it's going to take time to bring everybody into political education. That is a post-learning education. It is not K through 12. So when you hear citizens say, "I can't believe y'all didn't learn this in school," maybe you went to a school different than my public school education because political science wasn't a focal point there. There was a snippet of judicial, legislative, executive, but it wasn't the down in the nuts and bolts. But apparently when you get information or people start talking to you, it seems like they just learned all this stuff K through 12. If you went through that type of school, great. And it would be nice if everybody else did, but everybody did it. So I really don't hold that against any citizen for not knowing, because we can keep teaching. I mean, if you're not dead, you can learn. Simple as that. One of the things that's important to understand is right now we're at a breaking point between what our ideologies are. Is it going to be democracy or the other? Now, when I told you America got into this Cold War because they didn't want communism, this meant the few or the one ruling everything. They did not want that ideology to spread. This is why America decided, and Americans got behind it, that we needed to push democracy to so many places. We had tons of movies. America, Team America. They were World Police this, World Police that, because it was important to show other societies that democracy was better than being ruled by the few or the one. So it's very important. Our history, with the good and the bad, it's intertwined with democracy. Have we decided to change that? I personally would prefer democracy amongst all of the simultaneous things that are happening that we still have to focus on. That's why we must remain multifaceted. We must remain multifaceted. And I know it gets stressful. I know it gets tiring. But we have to stay in the fight. So help me. Tell me if indeed you believe that your ideology has changed in what it is, so citizens have an opportunity to look it up and see if they align with that ideology. That's what we're waiting to hear. I know that's what I'm waiting to hear from our government. What is your ideology? Say it out loud so we're not having to inadvertently put adverse titles on you. Just say what your ideology is. If we're still the country that wants to see democracy across the globe so that individuals do not feel oppressed and they have some of the same categories of why our founding fathers came here: economic opportunities, religious freedom, political and social freedom, adventure and exploration, colonial competition, escape from persecution or hardship, forced migration. If we want to see if we want to see better for everyone, if that's what we want to see, then we need to decide as a collective which direction we're going to go as a collective. And if we want to see oppression, then I'm 100% against it. Hands down, I am against it. I will not change that stance. I do not want to oppress any nations or any person or anybody. You have my stance. I will not change it. I do not want to see that. I do not want to see it. So it's very important to understand and to start listening and asking questions. Hey, what is the ideology of your country? What do you guys stand for? Where do you want to go? So we can get this part. This is our biggest divide. It's our biggest divide. We simultaneously right now we have people that are simply saying we want to be in charge. We want to be on top. We have people that say we should be resegregating everything. I don't agree. I want to be included. I want to continue the inclusive life, while I understand that simultaneously there will be people that don't want that and will probably go about seeing that not happen in harsh manners. But this is where we are. So I wanted to give you guys my point of view on where we stand in our ideology, where our history has been, what our foundation has been on, and find out if you think too that we've seemingly changed our ideology. You guys have a great day.